Okay, so just some examples for unit analysis here. Now, remember, unit analysis takes the original quantity along with the unit, and you're multiplying always by some conversion factors that relate the original unit to another unit. And we can do this as many times as we need to multiply these conversions together to get our final answer. So here's the example, right? 12.5 days, we want to convert that to seconds. So let's always start with the given, 12.5, and we're just going to do a D for days. And in unit analysis, we always multiply, always. Okay, we show it as multiplication. Now what we want to do is we don't want our final answer to be in days, so I want the days unit to be on the bottom. We're going 2 seconds, but maybe you don't know offhand how many seconds are in a day. That's no problem. That's the strength of unit analysis. So we know how many hours are in a day. That's easy. So let's do this. Let's do hours per day. Well, how many hours per day? There's 24 hours in one day. So that's what you put for your first multiplication. And what you see happening here is now my answer will not be in terms of days. My answer will be in terms of hours. Is that what I want? No. So that means I have to do another multiplication. I need to get rid of the hours. So guess what? Let's write a conversion factor here with hours on the bottom, because I want to get rid of the hours. What do I know? I know how many minutes are in an hour, but I also know how many seconds are in an hour. But I'm going to show you how to split this up even further. So hours to, let's do minutes, okay? Maybe you know how many seconds are in an hour, but let's do hours to minutes, because everybody knows that. So 60 minutes in 1 hour, right? Make sure you put the right number with the right unit there in this ratio. So hours now divide out with hours. They cancel each other out, those units. So if I were to stop now, I'd have my answer in minutes. I don't want minutes, I want seconds. So I'm going to do one more multiplication, and I want minutes to cancel out with the minutes here, so I put the minutes on the bottom, and then I know how many seconds are in a minute, right? I know that ratio. That's 60 seconds per 1 minute. All right? So that's your multiplication, because you see that all the units that you don't want are gone, and the unit that you want to end up with is left in the numerator. So that's great. So now what we do is we go 12.5 times 24 times 60 times 60. I'll write that down here. So 12.5 times 24 times 60 times 60. And then you divide it by the product of all the numbers in the bottom. Well, that's just all ones, right? So over 1. And your units are going to be seconds. So let's see. 12.5 times 24 times 60 times 60 equals. Okay, so what is that? 1,080,000? 108,000. So that's 1,080,000 seconds. Okay, so 12.5 days, that's over 1 million seconds. Oh, okay.
Good to know.
That's good to know, yeah. 12.5 days, a little over 1 million seconds. Okay. So can you hold your breath for 1 million seconds? No. Could you go without your favorite junk food for 1 million seconds? Yes, you could. Who's going to commit to fast from junk food for 1 million seconds? Not me. Gabe? All right. Okay, let's know how that goes. In 13 days, we'll check in on you. Okay. All right, so let me just do one more example here, okay? This one here, so the second one. Now, I know we've been using the metric staircase, but how would you do this without using the metric staircase? I'll show you, just real quickly. Okay, so 2.30 kilometers. Well, I don't want kilometers, I want millimeters. So let's put kilometers down there, and let's put meters maybe up here, because I know the conversion factor there. That's 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. Well, I don't want meters, I want millimeters. So do I know how many millimeters in a meter? Yes, you do. So you want meters down here, and you want millimeters up here. That's what you want to end up with. So the millimeters, or the meters will be gone, and it's 1,000 millimeters per 1 meter. So the answer is going to be 2.30 times 1,000 squared, right? Times 1,000 times 1,000, all over 1. And that's going to be your answer for the second one. Of course, you can finish that one now. And I will do this, the last conversion here for you. I'll do that one for you because that one's a little bit of a tricky one too. All right. So I'll let you finish that other one here before. So this is the last one I want to do. Now this gets a bit tricky in that we have not just one unit, but we have a ratio of units, right? So we have meters per, and that's 1 minute. Okay. So we're going to do unit analysis the same, but what we want to end up with over here, way over here, is miles per hour. Okay? We've got meters per minute. I want to end up with miles per hour. So let's just see. I don't want meters, so I'm going to get rid of meters here. I want miles. So do I know how many miles in a meter? Do we know how many miles in a meter? We don't know how many miles in a meter, but we know how many kilometers, probably, how that relates to meters. So watch this. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. You see that? Now, we haven't done anything with the minutes yet, but that's okay. I'm getting closer with the distance unit. So let's keep going. Now, do we know the conversion between kilometers and miles? I think we do. That would be about 1.6? We'll just round to 1.6 kilometers in 1 mile. Okay, so now look at what we have. I have the meters is now converted to miles. You see that? If I were to stop right now, I would have miles per minute. Is that what I want?
No.
No. So we have to keep multiplying to get rid of the minutes. Okay. So here's, I don't know if this is going to be tricky or not. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit so I have a little more space. Sorry if that's a little smaller for you now. But, okay, so miles per hour is what we want. I don't want minutes. So let's keep multiplying. So let's multiply, I want minutes on top, right? And I want to go to hours. Do you know how many minutes in an hour? Huh, we sure do. 60 minutes in 1 hour. So look at, I can reach all the way over here at the other end of the multiplication, and I can scratch out those minutes now. So now if I were to stop and multiply everything on the top and divide it by the multiplication of everything on the bottom, I would have miles per hour. Awesome, hey?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? That is like awesome. Okay, so now 72.115 times 1 times 1 times 60 divided by 1 times 1,000 times 1.6 times 1. We're gonna end up with miles per hour. Now, if you look at this step right here, okay, you wouldn't know what you have to multiply exactly. You'd only know that if you kind of piece this together. You would never just be able to guess, oh, I'm going to multiply by 60 divided by 1.6 and then divided by 1,000. Nope. So this is the strength of unit analysis, okay? So, all right, so it's a real small, it's a low speed, isn't it? You think 72 meters per minute, well, that's got to be pretty fast. It doesn't make sense, but you think about it, you know, like a 100-meter race, right? If you're running a 100-meter race, you're going to run probably 13 or 14 seconds, 100 meters fast as you can. So to do that in a minute, you're actually kind of walking fairly slow. You're going to do that in a whole minute. So it's not a fast speed. Okay? All right, any questions? Now, here's another example that you guys can do on your own there. But I also do have the, let's see, that worksheet that we started. Where is it? Don't I have some? Well, I do have days to minutes, seconds to days. I do have those two right there. But, I don't have some down here at the bottom. So you can work on those 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's some more practice for that particular concept.